You know, I really like how that woman in the red slippers says so dramatically. Do you know this quote where somebody says, "Why do you dance?" and she looks at him and dramatically says, "Why do you breathe?" So I mean that's awfully dramatic, but I feel like, well, it's just what I like to do. I mean, it's how I communicate with the world, and it's so a skill or a form of expression that I developed really young. It's been really interesting because growing up doing a lot of classical dance training. I went to a performing arts high school, and I studied a lot of ballet in college. I studied contemporary dance. And when I came to Santa Cruz, I felt like I was at a stage of my life where I had a lot of blockage around it. And I started studying with Anna Halprin and Daria Halprin and doing something called Tamalpa Life Art Experience. It's expressive arts therapy using dance as the basis, but all kinds of art to tell your story, but also get in touch with your own body and your mythology and things that you have associated that are living inside your body, stories that you're telling. When I was in high school, at this performing arts high school, it was like something out of a bad TV special, where the more successful I became as a dancer, the more my friends started to hate me, and so the more ambivalence I had about my own success. And when your art form or your medium for your art form is your body, it's deeply personal, and you feel really exposed. So your body is being judged, not just your painting. I think in your painting you can kind of distance yourself, like, oh, it's that thing that's being judged. But when you're a dancer, you're like, oh, it's me that's being judged, and I'm arrogant, and I'm wanting to be center stage, and I don't want to be like that. And so there's a lot that goes along with it. So doing art therapy, in which it was all about authenticity, and not only authenticity, but being explicit about taking on a character as something that wasn't me, but was this thing that I was becoming. I watched this wonderful documentary on the Paris Opera Ballet, and they were saying that there's this irony, or this moment of what happens is, like, as a younger body, you have, more ability to do extreme things with your body, but as you get older, you have the maturity of the artist. And so there's this kind of peak moment where one's tapering off as the other's increasing. And so for me, doing the Tamalpa program kind of freed me up to feel like it's okay to show off, because it's not necessarily me that's showing off. I was able to disidentify with it. While on the one hand I was being more authentic, on the other hand I was creating separate characters that were not me, but were facets of my personality. Just like this sculpture, I can see, like, that's not me. I would say what's cool about it is I always felt limited with dance a little bit. Like, God, this, I feel really motivated by music. Like, God, this music is so moving. It makes me feel like I'm flying through the air, but I'm limited by gravity and my ability to jump in the space. And suddenly aerial enabled me to have more speed and to move on this completely other plane. And the apparatus that I like, I can really swing and hover, horizontally, so I can move across the space rapidly. And it's more satisfying for me. I mean, not to make an overall comparison, but it's a tool that gives me much more breadth and distance. And I think for the audience, it's more exciting. It's more flashy. It's more, we did a lot of performances in which it was a dinner theater show. People were seated at tables, and I would swing towards them and flip. They almost thought they were going to be run into. And that's the kind of boundary between circus and art. Circus is a lot more shock value. And to be perfectly honest, to appreciate, dance as an art requires a certain amount of cultivation and practice to get some of the nuances and appreciate how difficult it is. But everybody can appreciate, oh my God, she almost hit her head on the ground, or like she almost ran into my table.
Mama, mama.